Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to the Palestra here at courtside. It's the voices of the Eagles, Jim Nelson and Frank Winkle, to bring you tonight's second game between the Norristown Eagles and the Clippers of Chester. With us is Glenn Martin, our statistician, and we're very glad to be able to bring you this game. And we have to thank Plymouth Whitemarsh for the use of their facilities and their monitors, helping us out to produce this game back to the Norristown fans. Norristown comes into this game with a #1 seed, a 22-1 record. The Clippers of Chester bring with them a 20-5 record. The winner of this game, Friday night, will meet Glen Mills, which defeated Plymouth Whitemarsh in the first game. Glen Mills coming on with a very strong second half to take that game. This should be a tough game for the Eagles tonight because the Clippers have a lot of height, and it certainly will play tough underneath. And Norristown will have to find a way to stop the Chester Clippers' very, very good number 23, Wilbur Shaw. Frank, what do you think the Eagles will do tonight? What can we expect them to do?
Well, Jim, I haven't seen Chester play, so I suspect what they have to do is just go with what they've been going with all year and see what's going to happen. Chester usually has a very fast team. They'll usually try to press you if they have to. They usually have a couple big players. But as I said, I haven't seen them play this year, so I don't know what they do have. And I'm not sure John Cresswell has seen him either, although he has gotten some scouting reports.
Okay, starting lineups are being introduced right now. And in fact, I guess the whole teams are being introduced. Norristown has had a lot of success so far this year with their transition game. It'll be interesting to see how that holds up with Chester tonight, because Chester is certainly capable of going with Norristown up and down the course. Chester traditionally one of the strongest teams in this District 1. This game gains added significance because the first and second place teams coming out of District 1 will probably stay close to the area when they go into state play. You remember last year, Norristown, finishing in the 4th position, ended up playing a very tough Hazleton team up at Hazleton, and that is really not the route you would like to go in the playoffs. You'd much prefer being closer to home. The Eagles all year long have featured balanced scoring. In fact, in the last game against Abington, a very tough game, all 5 Eagles starters scored in double figures. And if the Eagles are going to have success tonight, you have to once again hope that they will be doing exactly the same sort of thing. Chester is going to go with a very strong team up front. Their starters are number 10, Lawrence Granger, a 5'10" player. At the other guard, number 21, Derek Spence, who stands 6'4". The center is their big man, 6'5", 285-pound, Hassan Muhammad. And the Eagles will certainly have to counteract him underneath and try to keep him off the boards if they possibly can. At the forwards will be number 20, 6'3", James Dennis. And the player you have to watch tonight and who the Eagles will have to stop, 6'4", number 23, Wilbur Shaw. Shaw, as a sophomore last year, was one of the 2 outstanding Chester players. And I would strongly suspect that Shaw will be a District 1 All-Star player this year. There is no reason to assume that he will not be. He's their high scorer. He's a junior. He will be back next year. And if the Eagles are going to be successful tonight, they have got to figure out a way to stop Shaw. Chester is also expected to play 4 other players: Howard Maxwell, Orlando Kalk, Ross Jefferson, and Linton Williams. One of the strengths all year long for Norristown has been its depth, Frank, and that should probably help them again tonight, don't you think?
I think so. Right now they're introducing the entire team, and you know, I'd like to make a comment about that. Norristown, of course, plays 6, 7, 8, sometimes 9 players, but all those players on the team deserve some recognition, because the starting players are only as good as they are because of those guys on the bench eager to get out there and pushing the starters. And they all deserve some credit out there.
For the Eagles tonight, they will go with their usual starting lineup. Coach Pessoff comes with the following players. Number 13, Howard Flowers, 5'9" guard. And number 42, Dana Binky Johnson, 6'1" at the other guard. The center will be number 33, 6'3" Priest Ramsey. And at the forwards, number 41, 6'3" Mike Evans. And number 40, 6'4" Jeff Thompson. This is the team that has brought the Eagles so far this year to their very, very successful season. The only loss coming during the Christmas tournament, the Plymouth Whitewash. And since that time, the Eagles have been absolutely unbeatable on the court. Kurt Lever, Richard Mayers, Jeff Thomas, and Louis Simmons will also see action for Norristown. They have helped them out this year, and it is Norristown's depth that is a strong point. We are ready to the tip-off. Norristown will be heading toward the basket to our left. It's Priest Ramsey, and jumping against Ramsey was number 23, Shaw, who shows you that he plays a center, and we expect to see him, I think, all over the court. Granger with the ball over to Dennis. Dennis in the corner to Spence. Spence out top to Granger. Granger up top. Ball is over to Shaw. Shaw looking deep.
They're playing a 2-3 zone against the Clippers.
There goes the ball moving around again. First shot up. It's good. Number 21, Derek Spence. Chester showed a lot of patience there and moved the ball well against Norristown zone. Howard Flowers on the dribble on the right-hand side of the basket. Over to Evans. Evans looks for the shot, has the jumper up. It's partially blocked. Pulled off by Shaw. Shaw to Granger. Ball out of Granger's hands, out of bounds.
It's surprising, Jim, that Norristown isn't playing their man-to-man. They chose to play a 2-1-2 zone.
There goes Flowers to Johnson. Granger playing Johnson. Over to Evans, jump shot from the corner, strong. Over the basket, Muhammad with an easy rebound. Granger on the move, holds up. Over to Dennis. Dennis on the right-hand dribble, outside deep to Granger. Eagles look as though they're in a zone.
Yes, it's a 2-1-2 zone, which is quite surprising.
There goes the ball to Muhammad, and he is one big man. There he goes on the move underneath. Up and good. Forced his way in past Ramsey. Here comes Flowers on the dribble. Flowers controlling on the move. Over to Thompson. Thompson with a jumper. Ball off. Rebound pulled down again by Shaw, and he is a strong rebounder underneath those boards. To Granger. Granger to Muhammad. Muhammad has the ball blocked.
I'll tell you, Jim, that Muhammad is really something out there. He really he takes up a lot of room, and it's hard to move him.
He's very, very strong underneath, and they're going to have to really battle to keep him away from that board. However, on defense, he doesn't seem to want to go out to pick up Thompson, so if Jeff can hit, he ought to be able to get those shots.
Well, Norristown has been rather cold when they're shooting in the beginning. It's just a question of whether or not they're going to get a little more accurate on their shooting or not. And the thing about Muhammad is, when you see him at a distance, he doesn't look that tall because he's so big. But as you see him next to Norristown players, you see he's taller than anyone on the Norristown team. So he's not only big, he's very tall.
The last foul on Norristown was Priest Ramsey, his first. It's Dennis on the foul line. Will be shooting two. He missed his first. Still 4-0 Chester with 6 minutes and 8 seconds left. Second shot up, nothing but twine. 5-0 Chester out early. And what Norristown has to do right now is to get on the board. Break this drought. There goes Flowers on the dribble, looks underneath for Ramsey, shot up, no good. Controlled by Dennis, and Dennis throws it out of bounds. It will be Norristown's ball. I think one of the things Norristown can do is Granger is 5'10", is playing Johnson to see if Johnson can take him into the hole and get him underneath.
Well, Jim, this is one of those games where Norristown is going to have to make those little jump shots. If they don't, they're in deep trouble because I don't see them getting too much underneath.
There's a foul on Granger against Johnson, and Granger's coming out to play Johnson up high, and obviously they know they have to stop him. There he goes on drive. Ball fed off to Ramsey. Ramsey puts the Eagles on the board.
Maybe that'll break the ice for Norristown.
5-2 Chester. Shaw on the dribble over to Granger. Granger to Dennis on the drive, and they've got him on a walk. That's something we noticed in the first game.
Yes,
a lot of walking
in the first game,
calls.
I never saw so many walking calls. I think this summer the refs must have had a clinic on walking.
Chester on the press. Ball in the hands of Johnson. Granger picking him up as he moves up court. Johnson on the drive, almost with a walk. There goes the jumper up. Off the rim, no good.
And I think Chester is playing a triangle in 2, Jim. It looks like they're playing man-to-man on the guards and playing a triangle in the lane underneath.
Last foul was on Mike Evans, his first. There goes ball to Flowers, blocked, but there's going to be a foul on Shaw. His first.
Well, that foul there, I guess the ref saw it, I didn't, but...
One thing we noticed, Frank, in most of the games that we've seen recently for Norristown, Norristown has controlled the offensive boards and picked up a lot of baskets on second and third shots. So far tonight, it does not look as though they're going to get those.
Well, I don't think they're going to, Jim. Chester's going to play that tight 3-man zone underneath. That's going to make it very difficult for Norristown.
Flowers shooting 1-and-1, makes the first. 5:19 left. Eagles trail by 2 here in the first period. And it certainly takes a little while to adjust to the Palestra boards. Has to be a thrill for these players to be playing here. Norristown is going into its full press. There comes Dennis. Johnson's got to be careful. Ball is stolen by Flowers. Flowers stops for the jumper up, around, bouncing up, no good. And it's Spence up high for the rebound in the hands of Granger, down to Dennis. Dennis on the move, looked for a shot, then came out. Looks again, almost loses the ball. Finally takes the jumper up. No good. Evans with a rebound. Ball is stolen by Spence, in for the score. And I don't know whether Mike tripped or whether he was hit there.
I don't quite understand what happened under there. It looked to me like...
Here comes Johnson. Ball is taken by Granger. Looking down court, Shaw. Shaw to Spence for an easy layup. And the Chester pressure is beginning to take its toll. And Granger is playing Johnson all over the court. They're at least in a box in 1. They might be in a triangle in 2.
Yes, I think it's a triangle in 2. They're playing our guards man-to-man. And they're going to give that 8 to 10 foot jump shot to our forwards. It's just a question of whether the Evans and Thompson are going to make them.
Yeah, there's a second foul on Granger, and that's got to help if he has problems and has to get out there. Shot by Thompson, missed. Shaw up high in the boards, and Shaw is a very, very good rebounder. On the drive, Granger, ball blocked by Thompson.
I'm quite surprised they didn't call a foul after the shot on that. Well, you know, Jim, Thompson and Evans are going to have that little jump shot about 10 feet out, maybe even 8 feet out, and they're going to have to make it for Norristown to win this ball game.
Timeout there from Norristown. Good timeout to try to rally the troops and get themselves back together. Howard Maxwell comes into the lineup for Chester, number 12. He will be replacing Granger. And it'll be interesting to see whether Johnson has a little bit easier time handling the ball. They're certainly trying to take Binky out of the game. They've obviously scouted us well. They know that he can dribble, and if he can break that press, that he's going to cause them some trouble. Whether it will be successful for the whole game or not, we'll have to watch.
I think that's their strategy. Take our guards out of the game and take their chances that our big men won't make that jump shot all the time or won't make it enough to win the game. And so far, it's working. Norristown only has 4 points on the board up there.
Chester will be inbounding under its own basket, leading 9-4 with 4 minutes and 6 seconds left in the period. And we're yet to see Norristown come out with any kind of a shooting splurge, as they can so often happen. There goes a left-handed shot by Shaw, no good. Thompson on the rebound, dribbling up court. And there's one advantage Norristown might have. It's as big men know how to handle the ball. There goes underneath the Ramsey. The layup is good, and we have a foul.
Well, maybe that's the spark
Chester.
Norristown needed. Now, if Ramsey can make this foul shot.
The foul is on number 20, Dennis. It's his first. Ramsey up in the line, and that is also the 4th team foul on Chester, which means that Norristown will be going into the 1 and 1 on the next foul.
Norristown is certainly going to have to be on their foul shots tonight, I think, to win this ball game.
Foul shot by Ramsey is good. We like to see the Eagles hitting those early foul shots. Norristown with full court pressure. Maxwell on the left-handed dribble, and foul on Johnson, and that's the second foul on Binky Johnson with 3 minutes and 48 seconds left in the first period.
And this is the kind of thing that could hurt Norristown, Jim. If we have officials that call every little touch a foul, Norristown is going to be in trouble because of the type of
I'm sorry, that's only
play.
the first foul on Binky, and you certainly have all the Norristown players. He's the one we don't want to see get in foul trouble tonight. There we're going to have a foul on Flowers as Maxwell tries to dribble between two players. And the officials are certainly calling the ball tightly on both teams.
Now what the Norristown players have to do here is make sure they don't get frustrated. They can't get frustrated early. They just have to play their type of ball game.
Dennis on the dribble, Johnson played him, and there we have a walk. Looked like it almost might have been a push. Dennis looks over to his coach. He didn't like the call, but he was dragging that foot. Binky Johnson on the move. Maxwell picking him up as he comes over half court. There goes Johnson on the drive. Jumper up, no good, it's hit. And there goes the fast break. Flowers picks off the ball, saves it to Thompson. Thompson on the dribble. On the drive all the way up, no good. Battling for the ball in the hands of Shaw. Down court is Spence. And there goes the pass out of bounds into the Norristown rooting section behind the basket.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, you need a soft touch at the Palestra. I've seen at least 100 games here, and those baskets are really sensitive.
I think both teams might be feeling some nerves, too. We noticed this in the first game. It takes a while to get used to playing in this place. There's a foul on Mike Evans. That's his second.
You know, Jim, I look at this Chester team, and you'll recall they took Glenn Mills into overtime. That must have been one heck of a game. I'll tell you, Norristown cannot have just an average game to beat this team. They're going to have a little extra.
Richard Mayer's in the lineup replacing Evans. There goes Maxwell with a left-handed shot up and good. And with 2:58 left in the first period, it's the Clippers by 3, 10-7. Norristown fans behind the basket, stomping on the floor, trying to break up the rhythm. Second shot by Maxwell up and good. No trouble handling that. And they are having some trouble with this Chester press. There goes the ball to Thompson. Thompson on the drive. Good move. Foul on Muhammad. Thompson on the quick dribble. And looks to me as though Thompson's a little too quick for Muhammad. And if they can get him handling the ball and clear out underneath, he can get some layups.
That's certainly a possibility, Jim. If they can open up the underneath and have Thompson on Muhammad one-on-one. But I don't think they'll be able to do that. I think Chester has been told to play that three-man zone on the paint, and I'll bet they don't come out.
Well, the only way they're going to break that up then is by hitting from the outside. You're going to have to make those outside
I think it's
shots.
going to take those 8 to 10 foot jump shots to win this ball game.
Hey, Thompson is ready. Shot is up and good.
And I'll tell you, Jim, this is the kind of game where every foul shot is critical.
Well, with both teams already in the 1-and-1 with 2 minutes and 52 seconds left in the first period, they're certainly going to get lots of chances before halftime.
I don't know what the depth of Chester is. Norristown does have an advantage. They can give more fouls.
Second shot is up and good. Thompson makes it 11-9 favor of Chester. There's the pressure. Zane Shaw handling the ball. Finds Dennis. Dennis on the move. Drives. Too strong. There goes the battle for the board, and it's Muhammad. Muhammad on the dribble, forcing his way in. Up with a shot. No good. Dennis Huff on the board. Up with a layup. Spin move. And Chester strong off the board, getting 3 shots, making it 13-9. And this is what Glenn Mills did in the first game, too, against Plymouth Whitemarsh. They finally took control of the boards. Flower on the dribble over to Johnson. Maxwell playing him all over the court. Johnson with a left-hand dribble. Spins to the right. Finds Thompson underneath for the layup. Too strong. Ramsey loses the rebound. Shaw controlling with a left-hand dribble over to Maxwell. Coming up court, finds Spence. The dribble, jump shot up, good.
Now, Jim, you notice when Thompson put that shot up, how sensitive those baskets
for
are
Derek
here.
Spence, who is leading Chester. There goes Flowers with a turnaround, cutting the Clipper margin to 4. Maxwell on the left-handed dribble. The Eagles have fallen back. There's Shaw. Shaw on the move. Foul on Johnson. That's his second.
You know, I don't mind them calling that, Jim, if they're going to call it all the time. But one time, Flowers was bringing the ball down, and the guy bumped him in the chest and everything else, and they weren't calling it. I would like to see a little more consistency. If you're going to call it all the time. Just don't call it now and then.
Louis Simmons, 5'9" senior, up off the bench, coming into Johnson. And we'll have to see whether what happens with Binky going to the bench here. Shaw's a left-handed shooter. Foul shot is up and good. Again, Wilbur Shaw, the very strong player for Chester, and that's his first point. But he's been doing a very strong job off the boards tonight, and also has been handling the ball well and dishing it out to other players. Second shot is up, around and out. Ramsey on the rebound to Flowers. 16-11 Chester with 1 minute and 33 seconds left. There's Flowers from outside. Long shot is up, no good. Battle on the boards, and it's Shaw controlling again. And Norristown is just having no luck at all off their offensive boards. Shaw with a quick move, spin jumper up.
Well, I'll tell you, Jim, the shooting percentage is going to be the difference here.
Chester by 7. Here comes Simmons on the move. Simmons on the right-hand dribble, going down. Flowers outside, stops, finds Thompson. Thompson on the drive, reverse layup, no good. Followed by Mayers. And that's what they have to do. They have to hit those boards. Ball in the hands of Shaw. Shaw finds Spence, going to the basket, blocked away by Flowers. And that was Dennis on the move. And that's what they have to do, recover real quickly.
Jim, as we knew, Jim, at the beginning of the season, when you get near the end of the season, you run into teams in a lot better shape and your press isn't as effective.
Number 32, Henry Alston, has just come in the game for Chester. There goes to Flowers, and it's Ramsey up court. On the drive, spin move, and there should be goaltending.
Well, this Chester team is a fast ball team, I'll tell you that. Norristown has met their match in speed.
That certainly looked like goaltending as he came off the boards. Maxwell back, and he's going to have a walk. And this is a pretty sloppy game, really, so far.
Well, I think both teams are nervous, and what's going to happen, though, if Chester gets a lead too big, they're going to get their confidence, and Norristown's going to be in trouble.
Ball down to Mayers on the drive, short jumper, no good. Ramsey had to follow, couldn't control. Maxwell on the spin move, comes down, stops with a jumper, no good. Simmons trying to rebound, Maxwell controls for Chester. And Chester's getting too many shots. There goes a jumper, no good, ball botted. Ramsey has it.
There's Flowers, oh.
And
just not enough time. Flowers was down there all
period.
by himself, but not enough time in the quarter. Ramsey had thrown the ball sooner, maybe, but he didn't. And I'll tell you, Jim, Norristown is going to have to up their shooting percentage. They're getting the shots, they're just not putting it in the bucket.
18-13, score at the end of the first quarter. I think probably the biggest thing for Chester is they controlled the boards there up until the very last minute or so, and that gave Norristown no second shots. Norristown is not going to have the luxury of missing things tonight. They're going to have to start hitting on those rebounds, and they had an opportunity there. Ramsey went up and just couldn't get his hands on the rebound.